Hey there, goal setters. Are you tired of setting goals that fizzle out faster than a sparkler on a rainy day? Well, get ready because we're going to reignite some ambition with the ever infamous SMART goals. Welcome back. My name is Rachel and I am all about helping you set and achieve your goals one SMART step at a time. And today in this video, we are going to unlock the secrets of just how to set those SMART goals up for you. So I want to know, have you ever struggled with a goal because they weren't SMART enough? Yes or no? Let me know. SMART goals, or setting up a SMART goal system, isn't just some fancy acronym that's been floating around for no reason. It is a powerful system that when you set it up and you create it properly and you follow the specific steps, you can be reaching goal after goal after goal. But you have to put in the work and you have to be willing to set up the system before you get started with the actions. But first, what I'd love to know is, what goal are you currently working on? All right, but how does a SMART system even work? Let's break it down. First, your goal has to be specific. So you can't just say, I want to be more healthy. Way too vague, because it's hard to figure out where you're going to go next when you have a vague goal. So if you're looking to be healthy, you need to ask yourself, do I want better mental health? Do I want better physical health? So let's just say, for example, you decide that you would like to be in better physical health. Let's get even more specific than that. If you want to be in better physical health, what does that look like? The more specific you can get with your goal, the easier it will be to create the steps to achieve it. Once you have that figured out, you need to set something measurable. You need to be able to measure how you're going to go about achieving this goal. You need to make sure that the goal is achievable for you in this moment. It can't be something that is so far beyond what you believe truly that you're able to reach, or it will just be that sparkler fizzling out in the rainstorm. It has to be relevant. If your goal isn't relevant, possibly because somebody else wants you to have that goal, or possibly because you see everybody else has this goal and so you might as well jump on the bandwagon. If you're doing that, it's not really relevant to you. And if it's not relevant, you're going to lose motivation really quickly. And finally, it has to be time bound. You have to set a time that you want to achieve this goal within. And I will tell you a little secret, that the longer out your goal is to take to completion, the harder it will be for you to achieve it. So even if you want to set a far off goal in the future, the best thing for you to do is kind of set that goal, but then set smaller goals in smaller chunks in smaller amounts of time that will help you achieve that final goal or that end goal. All right, let's take a look at a specific example so that this all comes together. You're going to use the physical health example. What I personally like to do is set my specific goal, and then I like to come down to the time bound, the T part of the SMART, and work back up. And I'm going to show you why it's going to make sense in just a minute. All right, so let's fill this in so that it makes sense. We want a physical health increase. That is our specific goal. And just for fun, I'm going to get even more specific. I want to build endurance. Now we're going to pop down to time bound, and I'm just going to say for fun that we're going to try to increase our endurance over a 4-month period. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to look at relevance. Is it relevant to us right now in the moment? Are you trying to get in better physical health because everybody else is around you is? Or are you trying to get in better physical health because maybe you have had a health scare, or maybe you want to run a marathon, or maybe you've decided that you're going to take this incredibly long hike? Whatever your reason, you need to make sure that it is relevant to you. Maybe it's just that you want a better lifestyle, and that's okay. But whatever it is, it shouldn't be somebody else's goal. It should always be your own. All right, now what we're going to look at next is this goal that we want to set, our physical health increase, specifically with our endurance, Is it something that is achievable to us? So building our endurance is achievable. But here maybe we say, well, could we get more specific? And if the answer is yes, what are we really asking, is it achievable for? So let's say that we want to make our goal even more specific by saying, if we increase our endurance, that might look like running 5K without stopping. So let's add that. This goal should be something that I look at myself right now and say, there's no way that I could do that right now in this moment. It's got to be a challenge, otherwise it's not a goal. But is it achievable? If I say, maybe I could run a half K or a K without stopping, and in 4 months, I should be able to do this, that's an achievable goal. But we're going to break it down in this achievable section. So let's imagine what we could do in this moment right now, today. Let's say, I know I can run 1K, no stops, right now in this moment. 4 months from now, if I consistently put in the work to build my endurance, I know I can get up to 5K with no stops. 4 months, starting with 1, ending with 5, no problem if you put in the consistent action. Now this is my favorite one, and that is, what is measurable? How can we measure what we're doing every step of the way to make sure that A, we build a plan, and B, we stick to it, but also C, that we can see the progress. So simply put, measuring this goal is pretty much tracking the number of kilometers I can go without stopping. We've got the number of kilometers at no stops. Every time I run, I'm going to track how far did I go and how far could I go before I stopped. Maybe we even want to add time in there, because once we get going, maybe week 1 and 2 or 1, 2, and 3, we go 1 kilometer at no stops, but we measure the time it takes us to run that 1 kilometer. Once we're feeling confident with that, we might then add a kilometer with no stops. So there are all kinds of different ways we can measure this goal, but the most important thing is that we keep track of it and that we use this consistent action to push ourselves further, to be better, to get towards that final goal. When you set up your system this way, it makes your goal so much more achievable. The motivation is there because you have the momentum going, because you get to measure, because you get to look at what you're doing. And the best part is, when you have a goal that isn't super short term, you have the time to stop and reevaluate what's working for you. If after a couple of weeks, 1 kilometer is no problem for you, then bump up your goal a little bit faster. Bump up your goal a little bit harder. If you're finding, I cannot run a kilometer without any stops, although I thought I could, you might need to backtrack. But the great thing about giving yourself a little bit of time is that those check-ins help you reevaluate what your goal is. You don't have to change your goal, but you can change the system. When you have it all laid out, it's easier to see what needs to be fixed or what needs to be changed, or how you can motivate yourself to keep that momentum going by creating goals that are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and have some sort of time restraint. It allows you to create this roadmap for a successful goal that is much more easier to achieve. All right, so there you have it. You have now a blueprint to setting your goals so that you can crush it with confidence. But please remember, even though we're talking about SMART goals, it's not always about the goal that you set, but it's about the process of achieving it. When you learn to enjoy the process of getting to a goal, it makes the end point, the goal, that much sweeter. This is just a roadmap that helps you be able to enjoy that process more. Tune in next time where we get into the nitty-gritty of creating the action plan to any SMART goal you set. I plan to give you a variety of examples, so you're definitely not going to want to miss it. Of course, if you haven't already subscribed, this is when you're going to want to do that so that you get notified as soon as that video comes out and we can start setting those goals together. As always, if you found any of this information valuable or inspiring, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up because it tells me that I'm giving you valuable content. Until next time, trust your own journey and keep setting